Okay, I am not gonna fuck with the camera because I'm just not going to fucking do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Hello people who watch my YouTube channel. It's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since I filmed a video. I was gonna be real noble and say like, oh, it's because I took a social media break and I was not on the internet. But to be honest, I mean, I did take a social media break. I was off socials for like 2-ish weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that. But while I was on my social media break, I was planning on filming and posting, but I just kept not really having anything to say. And I wanted to keep making these videos. I enjoy making these videos. I don't feel like I have any obligation to them, you know, which would take the fun out of it for me. But I do enjoy filming them. But I just couldn't fucking come up with literally anything to say. And I did try to film one a week or so ago, and I just, 10 minutes in, I was like, what am I talking about? This is not interesting. Nobody wants to hear whatever the fuck I have been talking about for 10 minutes. So I quit. And anyway, here I am again, and I'm ready to put something else on the internet. I have things to say. I know that I do. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on in my life right now. It's Monday, and that makes it chest day, chest and delts and tris. If you have been watching these videos, which maybe you have, I have been talking about changing my program so that I'm going to the gym 6 days a week for probably 2 months now. And I did it. I finally did it. About 2.5 weeks ago, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. And so I have changed my program officially. I feel like I maybe talked about what I was going to be doing in my last video that I filmed. But in case anyone's interested, the split is going to be chest, delts, tris, back, biceps, traps, core cardio. Thursday we're back to chest, delts, tris. Friday is legs. And then Saturday is back, bi, traps. I've actually not been doing trap workouts, mainly because they're kind of a pain in the ass. Because you can lift quite a bit with just your traps if you're just doing shoulder shrugs. And grabbing 40 or 50 pound weights off of the rack just to do shoulder shrugs is just a pain. And I watched Jay Cutler's videos a lot and his advice about how he likes to work out. And he said that he doesn't even do, so he still works out 7 days a week, but he doesn't even do specific trap workouts because he was like, you get enough workouts for your traps, you know, as a secondary muscle to your other upper body workouts. And I'm thinking, if Jay Cutler's not doing traps, why the fuck do I need to be doing traps? And I feel like the muscles have been coming along pretty nicely anyway. I've been lacking a lot in the diet department. A lot. I was really on top of my protein intake when I first started working out. Just trying to get as much into my diet as possible. But lately, I just have not been paying attention to my protein intake at all. And so I have plateaued pretty thoroughly on my progress. At least it's been feeling like I've plateaued. So that kind of sucks, but I know what to do to fix it. I just haven't been doing it. So maybe eventually I'll start actually paying attention to my macros again. But in the meantime, I've just been going to the gym 6 days a week and doing 45 minutes to an hour. It's normally closer to 45 minutes. I do about 2 workouts per muscle or muscle group, and that takes me about 45 minutes. So not too bad. Just takes a little chunk out of my day. Nothing too crazy. But I also talked a little while back about how I got a duffel bag for my gym clothes. So I've been able to keep my gym clothes in my car, which is so nice because then I can go straight from work to the gym. And that really cuts out a lot of my demotivation time, because the time that it takes for me to go from work to my house and then to the gym makes it so that I'm like, I just want to sit in my car on my phone for 45 minutes in between because I am so demotivated after a long day of work. But keeping my gym clothes in my car has really, really helped with that, because now I go straight from work to the gym and then I can go home and shower and change and make dinner. I'm a little sicky. You can probably kind of tell in my voice. Part of it is because it's actually been changing with the testosterone, but another part of it is because I'm a little sicky. I got a little sore throat. Powering through. Not going to skip the gym just because I have a little sore throat. Come on now. I'm going to have a fever before I break up my program. And even then, you know, just double mask up and fucking power through the 45 minutes that it takes. You know what I mean? No need to be a little pussy about it. That's for me, not for other people. If you don't want to go to the gym on a day that you're feeling sick, that's great. Me personally, I stick to the program. I don't skip the gym, not anymore. 6 days a week is great. I really, really, really enjoy it. Wouldn't recommend it for everybody, because the thing is, the higher expectations you set for yourself, the more likely it's going to feel like too much pressure, and that you might just stop going altogether because it's so much pressure. But for me, I feel like I really eased into it. I started by going a couple days a week, and then slowly increased that until I was ready to start going every day. And that has been really, really good, and I have been able to keep my program pretty consistent. So yeah, that's been going on with my gym progress. I've had 2 separate people at work ask me, do you still go to the gym? And I'm like, okay, am I fucking getting small? Like, why do people keep asking me that? And they're like, oh, you just don't talk about it anymore. And I was like, well, yeah, it's not as much of a novelty anymore as it was when I started going. It was a pretty big part of my personality there for a couple months, but now that I go every day, it's just like part of my life, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think about it really anymore. That's kind of what's been going on with my workout program. I've been going pretty good. I've been listening to a lot of fiction books lately. I don't want to talk about that too much because I don't want this channel to become just me talking about all the books I've been reading. But I read Red, White, and Royal Blue. I think it's been long enough since I filmed the video that I haven't even talked about this. But I read that book, I listened to it, and the guy that reads it is really, really talented. And it was very, very enjoyable from an audiobook perspective. I loved it so much. I loved the book. I'm so obsessed with it. I understand why it's as popular as it is. I have just been nothing but obsessed with it, and I've been making Pinterest boards, and I've been making playlists, and just, I really enjoyed it. I watched the Amazon Prime movie after I read the book, and it's shit. It's really, really bad, but it's okay, because for what it is, it's really fun anyway. And I watched it with my girlfriend the second time I watched it, because I made my partner listen to the audiobook as well, so that I could talk to them about it. And then we watched the movie together, and it was my second time watching it, and it was really fun because we could just make fun of how badly they adapted that amazing, amazing book into such just a shitty movie. But you know, you get to watch 2 hot guys making out, so how much can you really complain about that? Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of LGBT fiction, which I love so much. I really enjoy it. The other one that I just finished was, it's called The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. I know it's a mouthful of a title. Really good book about a young bisexual boy in the 17th century, and he goes on tour with his best friend who he's secretly in love with, and hijinks ensue. And it's really, really good. And then I also read the 3rd one in the series, which is from his brother's perspective 20 years after the first one takes place. I wasn't a huge fan of their sister, and she's the subject of the 2nd book, so I just skipped the 2nd book. And it didn't make the 3rd book any harder to follow at all. Anyway, yeah, pretty good. I would recommend it, especially if you're into period pieces and things of that nature, historical fiction. Really, really good. And I've been kind of on the hunt for a new book lately. I've started a couple and have not really found any that I have been able to get into. So I'm kind of bookless at the moment. I've got a couple on hold. A Little Life is one of them that is really popular and apparently made a lot of people cry really hard. So I'm interested to see if it makes me cry really hard, because I don't really cry very often at media. I will tear up, I'll get emotional, but I don't normally like bawl my eyes out over media. The only time that I can think of that I really cried watching something was in The Sopranos. Spoiler alert, in The Sopranos when Adriana dies. Holy fucking shit, I cried my little baby eyes out. Holy shit, I bawled and bawled. That was so sad. But that's the last time that I can think of. And before that, I have no idea. So, anyway, I'm interested to read that one. I've got one called Boyfriend Material on hold. I've got The Song of Achilles, which I actually have the paperback version of. I've got the audiobook on hold so that I can listen to that. Oh no, it's Be Real. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, my bad. I had to go post my Be Real. But anyway, yeah, so I've got The Song of Achilles audiobook on hold. But all of the books that I want to read, they're all just backed up weeks. There's like 50 people waiting. I think it's so ridiculous that you can only loan out so many copies of an audiobook. Like, that's so ridiculous because it's a digital audiobook. Like, why can't I listen to it? Whatever. There's like laws against it or whatever. I don't even know. While I was off social media, my goal was to kind of I mean, I guess it was like set some goals and start working toward them and see what it would look like for me to start achieving the things that I want to achieve. And that sounds really vague, but like, I have wanted to learn guitar for my entire life. I've wanted to start picking up writing, because I started writing a novel a while back that has been just collecting dust, and I wanted to start drawing and just spend more time doing things instead of sitting on my phone doing nothing. So that was kind of one of my goals while I was off social media for a couple weeks. And I did, in the beginning, I had a lot of gas and I was really pushing through and, you know, working toward those things. But lately, man, it is hard to keep up with that stuff, especially when you are disabled, which I am. Hello, my name is Parker. I have autism, and when your disability disables you, that shit is quite humbling. When it's not just like, oh, this is this quirky thing that I have that makes me bad at social cues, and it's actually like, oh, I have debilitating fatigue after working for 8 hours a day, to the point where all I want to do is lay down and not do anything else, and I don't want to interact with people, and I don't want to leave my house. It can be really, really frustrating, and, you know, this past week or so, it's been getting to me. I haven't practiced guitar in a little while. I started learning it, and I was doing a pretty good job, but yeah, I haven't practiced it in a while. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm determined to. I will not be, you know, another person that just gives up on something like that 2 weeks after they start it. I just went and spent $150 on a guitar. Like, I'm gonna use it. But it's been really hard for me to motivate myself to do that lately. And motivation is like the biggest thing that I feel like makes people just give up on their goals and their dreams. Like, you know, it's not about whether you have the capabilities. It's not whether you have the time. Because people are always saying, like, oh, I don't have time. And it's like, you do have time, though, because you make time for other things. And if you're making time for other things, you can make time for the things that work towards your goal. I don't believe in not having time. I think there's very few people in the world that genuinely don't have time to work toward the things that they love. And chances are you're not one of them. I don't really like the term making excuses, because I just don't. I feel like it's really demeaning and condescending. But I do think that a lot of people will use, oh, I don't have time, as an excuse to just not try at the things that they want to achieve. And I don't want to be one of those people anymore. I'm tired of being one of those people that's like, oh, I just don't have the time. You know, I just don't have the resources. That's for someone else. That's not for me. It's for someone else. Because if it can be for someone else, why can't it be for me? What makes me so special that somebody else can learn how to do something and I can't learn how to do it? Other people learn how to play guitar into their late 20s all the time. And I'm not even in my late 20s. I'm in my, like, mid 20s. And other people my age are learning new things all the time. There's all sorts of people who are older than me that started when they were my age. It's not too late for me to start. And I'm not any less talented or less capable than anyone else. So I'm trying to remind myself of that, but it gets to be hard when you have autism or you're neurodivergent in general and you get so fucking fatigued. I get so goddamn fatigued. And right now I am so sick. I am so having symptoms of sickness. And that also makes you not want to do things. Oh, it's fucking bright out here. Holy shit. Good God. How do people exist in the world without sunglasses? Yeah, I've just been really trying to keep myself... Oh, I can't fucking do it. I've been trying to keep myself goal-oriented, and it's been tough. I have not been my best self this past week or so. But I'm going to get back on my grind. I'm going to do it. I've been trying this thing where I just start writing, and I am like, whatever, it can be shitty, and it can be about nothing, and it doesn't really matter. I want to start a new story, just a short story, and see if I can complete that. I have this really bad habit of starting writing projects and never finishing them. And I just want to finish something. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be my life's masterpiece of a work. It can just be something shitty. And I'm trying to remind myself of that, and I'm trying to dedicate some time to that throughout my day. But you know, everybody knows. It's hard to motivate yourself to do the things that you know that you want to do, but that you feel like you don't want to do. And when you're neurodivergent, especially, it can be really, really hard. Because task paralysis is a thing, and executive dysfunction is a thing. And so yeah, it's really hard. It can be really hard to motivate yourself. Holy fucking shit, my throat hurts. And I have a zit. Testosterone, folks. It fucks with your hormones. Who would have thought? If you're struggling with motivation, I would encourage you to remember that you're not any different from anyone else. And if other people can do the things that you want to do, you can do those things. I promise you, you're not less capable than other people, even if it feels like it. And hey, not everybody picks up a pen and is immediately good at writing. And I am one of those people that I'm really good at writing. I've been really good at writing my whole life. And that happened when I was very young. For the first time I wrote something and you know, I just haven't stopped. But with music, I'm not musically inclined. I'm not a prodigy, and I never have been, and I didn't learn any sort of instruments growing up. I didn't even play piano. So, you know, starting something from the very ground and working your way up can be really discouraging and really hard. And I would encourage you to remind yourself, just because it's hard doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do things that are hard. I promise. You can do things that are hard just as much as anybody else can do them. If it's been done, then you can do it. Simple. Something that Ronda Rousey said in her book was, somebody has to be the best at it. Why not you? Why not you? Why does it have to be someone that's not you? You could be the best at it. You just have to work for it. You just have to really, really want it. So I've been trying to really, really want it, but man, is this stuff easier to talk about than it is to actually put into practice. Man, is it easier to think about doing something than to actually do it. Easter's coming up. I don't celebrate. Maybe you celebrate. Happy Easter if you do. This time of year is really nice because it's finally starting to warm up. People are finally starting to get out of their house and go to the park. It's been really, really nice. And this is perfect weather to start doing the things that you want to do. It's really easy to let it get away from you in the wintertime, in my opinion. Like, I think most people have some form of seasonal depression. At least, I don't know, from my perspective, it seems like. And it can be really hard to motivate yourself when you have seasonal depression, or even if you don't, just when it's cold and stormy outside. You don't want to be fucking doing things. You don't want to be working. You want to lay in bed with a warm blanket and a cup of hot cocoa and not move for 3 months. And I totally get that. But you know what? Now is as good of a time as any to start working on your goals, because it's beautiful outside. You want to start working out? Start going for a walk in the park once a day. It's that easy. Put in your headphones and listen to an audiobook, listen to a podcast, listen to some music, and just walk around for an hour and a half. There you go. You've started working out if you do that. Something that Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about in his audiobook is that it has been studied that taking a walk helps improve brain activity and can help to get your creative juices flowing. That's been proven. So if you need some ideas and you need some motivation, I would recommend putting on your headphones and going to the park, and put your phone on silent and put it in your bag or put it in your pocket and don't touch it. And just walk around, and maybe bring a piece of paper and a pen with you if you want. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's just been a crazy few weeks. Trying to work to my goals has just been really tough. But you know, we all have hard weeks, and I'm also trying to remind myself of that again, I'm not special, and again, I'm not unique, where everybody needs breaks sometimes. Everybody gets burnt out. I've been getting a little burnt out because I've gone from so much fatigue that I just can't do anything to, you know, moving really fast and trying to achieve all my goals at once, and that can be exhausting. So I'm giving myself a little break. I am so sick. I can feel it in my ear holes. Let's move on to something else. Something else is podcast. I talked about starting a podcast with my partner, which we were going to start a couple weeks ago, and I ordered some microphones online that looked like just plain cheap little tiny microphones so that we can record some good audio. And they were shit. They sounded like I had dropped them in toilet water and then tried to use them. The audio from my phone is 1,000,000 times better than whatever the fuck that audio was from those microphones. So I had to return them, and I'm just needing to order some more now so that we can start doing that. If you're interested in hearing me talk the way that I talk in these videos, then you're probably going to like my podcast with my partner, Jackie. When I talk with them, we can just talk for ages and ages and ages about nothing and everything, and we're very funny. But when we're not being funny, we're also being very thoughtful, and you know, not to sit and hype myself up about it, but I will say, I think that when we are able to start filming, and especially once we get really comfortable in front of the camera together, I think it's going to be really, really fun. And so I hope that you'll stay tuned and check that out once that's happening really, really soon. I could probably honestly order the microphones today because I'm seeing them later today. So keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited to start doing that. That's another one of those things that it's just like, if you want to do it, just do it. You know, it doesn't have to be for other people. Yes, there's a lot of podcasts right now. Yes, the podcast market is very, very saturated. Everybody has a fucking podcast. But you know what? So what? I'm not trying to make a living. I'm just trying to record me and my hilarious girlfriend making jokes and chatting. And if one person watches it and enjoys it, then great. If 0 people watch it, fine. I will go back and listen to it over and over again, because that's what I do when I make things, is I go back and look at them or listen to them over and over again. So who cares if anybody else even likes it? I mean, people don't watch these videos and I keep making these. So whatever, man. You know, do whatever the fuck you want. Why are you worried about whether or not other people will like it? Why are you worried about that? I mean, at the end of the day, worst case scenario, somebody sees your shit and hates it and then moves on with their life. Or, you know, nobody sees it and it doesn't even matter. Best case scenario, people see it and it affects them. I've had people tell me that these videos have affected them. And, like, that's incredible. To be able to put something out into the world that even a handful of people are like, hey, this really gave me some perspective on some things. And, hey, this really, you know, helped me to think through some things I was going through. Like, that's such an incredible feeling to have even a couple of people tell you that about something that you made. I mean, this is just me sitting in my car just talking to myself. You know, it's like nothing. And my podcast with Jackie is just going to be the two of us sitting there doing what we do anyway, just recording it. So, you know, if you want to do something, fucking do it. Who cares what anybody else says about it? Some trans updates. The testosterone is testosteroning for certain. My skin is going crazy for sure. I don't know if you can see. I'll get real close. It's so fucking bright. Oh, you can kind of see it. Getting a little mustache. My lips are crusty. Getting a little mustache, getting hair all over the place. Yeah. I've gained some weight, but I don't know if I attribute that to the testosterone or not. You can see my fucking biceps. I'm not trying to flex. I'm just trying to relax. That's pretty much it on the testosterone front. It has been affecting my voice. Right now, it doesn't really sound that much deeper than it normally does. The sickness is affecting it a little bit, but it has been getting gradually deeper, finally. Everybody's been saying that it's been getting deeper for a month now, but I didn't really start hearing it until pretty recently. So that's pretty exciting. I've been thinking about changing my name again. I've been thinking about it. I've been talking to some of my friends about it. We've come up with a few ideas that I like, but nothing that I like enough to commit to it. It's kind of scary to pick a whole new name. I've already done it once. I did it when I was 19 and I picked the name Parker, and that was pretty scary. And it was before I was really confident in my transness. So I was nervous to even tell people that that was my name or to correct them when they called me by my old name. And I remember my manager at the place where I worked at the time asking me, like, are you going by a different name? And I was like, oh yeah, some of my friends are calling me this. And she was like, we can change that if you want, like in the program. So the schedule says your new name. And I remember at the time being like, wow, I didn't think that was something that you could do. Like, I feel like a little kid asking everybody to call me a nickname. Like, I don't feel like a real adult person picking a whole new name. And now I go by Parker, and it, you know, is just what everybody's called me for so long that I don't even associate with my old name anymore. So I'm trying to remind myself of that if I pick a new name, that it's only going to sound weird for a little while before it starts to be normal. But I haven't decided yet. I do have a few ideas. If you look at me and you see a specific name, here's my face. It's so fucking bright out here. But if you look at me and you think of a certain name, let me know. Leave a comment down below and let me know if there's a name that you think that would suit me. Anyway, yeah. I guess this has just been a little life update. I'm about to go in and hit chest. I really don't want to because I feel so shitty, but I'm going to do it anyway because nothing stops the program, baby. Gymming every day. Grind and don't stop. Just kidding. That sounds really douchey. I'm just joking. But yeah, I'm not going to let it get me down, and I'm not going to skip the gym just because of that. Because if you only go to the gym on days when you want to go, you're never going to go. You know, you're just going to stop going entirely. That's why so many people end up quitting after a month or two of going, because they're just only going when they feel like it. But I think I've talked about this in videos before. You have to do the things that you have to do even when you don't feel like it. Even if you're like, fuck, I don't want to do this, I feel like shit today, or I'm really tired, or I have other things I'd rather be doing, you have to do it even on those days, because you're never going to achieve your goals if you only do it on the days when you're like, yeah, I feel like doing it today. You're going to be mediocre forever if you do that. And if you're okay with being mediocre, that's totally fine. That's totally acceptable. Me personally, I'm not okay with being mediocre. I really want to be great. And so I'm trying to make myself work toward goals as if I'm a person who wants to be great, and to stop working toward them in a way that is going to end up with me being mediocre forever. You know, not better than other people, just better than my previous self. You know, I want to be someone memorable. I want to do something with my life that's meaningful and that affects people. So in order to do that, you have to do it even on days you don't want to fucking do it. And right now, the gym is the only thing that I have been able to do on days when I don't want to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to go inside and work out now. If you're sick, leave a comment down below and say, hey, King, I'm sick too. Because I feel like everybody's getting sick right now. So, we're in this together. Why not? If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is queer.edge. I have not really been on any other socials lately other than Instagram. And I'm trying not to be on that for as long as I was on it per day. But you can go check it out. I post pictures sometimes. I post clips from these videos. And yeah, I guess that's all. And I'll see you when I decide to film another one of these. All right. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.